Have you ever thought about why it is that the religion of peace can never seem to find that peace? Certainly not whilst living amongst or alongside other religions, cultures and nationalities. Though they will claim that they are an all-inclusive way of life, they are an interfaith, apolitical organisation of God-fearing religious people. If that were the case, why is it that they are constantly at war and that we see nothing but murders and rapes attributed to the people of their culture? Let's go through why that is. So to begin with, we have to understand that our understanding of things is completely different to theirs. And these are basic things like if we know what peace means, if we know what truth and love, justice, mercy, things like this, when we know what those words mean, we have an understanding of them and how they interact with us in our lives. For instance, if I say I am a peace-loving man, I only wish for peace, you can understand from me that I don't want to go around killing everyone that disagrees with me, because that would be antithetical to the idea that we have of what peace actually is and what it means. Not so for the regular everyday Muslim, even the nice friendly moderate Muslims. And the reason is because peace for them is not the same thing as peace for everybody else. Peace in terms of Muslims is described in the Quran as the end result of the completion of the jihad, the cause of Allah. And what that means is peace can never be achieved in Islam whilst there are other religions, cultures and nations still dwelling upon the face of this planet. Therefore, we know if we are Muslim, the way that we will gain peace is by resistance against all non-believers, non-Muslims, and their eventual destruction and their deaths. That is what peace means to Islam. So if you think you can have friendly Muslims in your life, and also peace, you will be sadly mistaken. Now this is a known fact to anyone such as myself who has studied Islam, the Quran, their law code held in the book The Reliance of the Traveller, and that is the reason why we are very distasteful towards the religion of Islam. It's nothing to do with ethnicity or nations. It's nothing to do with the individuals. Some of the individuals may well be nice. It's to do with the religion. It's to do with the way that Islam is going to achieve peace through its Quran morality and its Sharia. In order for Islam to be completed and for them to achieve peace, which is the main goal of every Muslim who is a slave to Allah via their Al-Fatiha prayer that we went through, the method they are going to use and that they will use to achieve this peace is by the destruction of all other nations, all other religions, and every single individual who is not an Arab Muslim. So that means you can convert to Islam now as a Westerner, and you will be paying them the jizya, which is a tribute, a tax that they levy upon all non-Muslims. And then you will think that you will be saved from this jihad, but you would in fact be mistaken. And once again, the reason is found in their Quran. And the reason is Allah decrees that every single individual who is not an Arab Muslim, by nature of Allah creating him with an evil soul, the entire works of his life will always be evil. And in order for peace to be achieved, that evil non-believer needs to be beheaded along with the rest of his nation and his family. So that's the nature of peace in Islam. Peace in Islam is the end result of the global intifada, the jihad, in which every single other person on earth who is not an Arab Muslim is beheaded and killed. That's what peace means to a Muslim. So why is it that we have these ongoing debates, discussions and conversations in the popular media? Why do people not accept this simple, horrifying truth? It's because they have a system of strategies to ensure we never find this out. And even if we do, nobody will listen to us. They call this Taqiya. Another of the Islamic ideals contained within the teachings of the Quran, which is antithetical to the thing that we are told that it is. We are told that Taqiya is a way of manipulating deceivers and evil people and manoeuvring them round to wisdom and truth. That's the description given in the Quran and by the Quranic scholars. But once again, we meet with the same old bogeyman of these things. What does truth mean? What does deceit mean? What does evil mean? For if evil means a person who doesn't worship Allah or accept Islam as the one, only and true religion, then by nature of that, everyone who is not an Arab Muslim is by definition evil, and therefore Taqiya, lying to the evil person, is no longer a bad thing. It's actually a moral, righteous act, one that is the responsibility of every Muslim man, woman and child. And this is the nature of Taqiya. Though they will tell you that Taqiya is something positive, something good, which generates peace in the end, they neglect to mention that it only generates peace for Arab Muslims after having murdered the rest of the planet. So my point is this. The reason these offensive fascist ideals, the religion of peace, Islam, and the global intifada, the jihad, the reason these things have been so successful in this country, despite the fact that we should all absolutely rebel and resist these evil ideologies, and that we do generally do that with the full facts ahead of us, the only reason these things have been so successful is our own ignorance. It's the lack of wisdom and education surrounding these ideologies, opening the doorway to us being lied to and tricked and deceived via this Taqiya, this lying. And don't be one of these people who is fooled, because they will try to tell you this, that this is mere Dark Ages mythology. No, the moderate, peaceful Muslims of today don't do this. They have a book called The Reliance of the Traveller, which is a compendium, if you like, a dictionary of Islamic law from today, written 3 years ago at the last update. And this book, Reliance of the Traveller, has an entire section called Permissible Lying, which describes the strategies of the Taqiyite Muslim when they are speaking to you, the dumb, evil, fascist, Western white person, which is what they think of you and me. Within the Reliance of the Traveller, in this section entitled Rule N8, Permissible Lies, the Islam cult makes it clear to every Muslim that it is their responsibility and is considered to be part of the greater jihad that you never find these things out, and if questioned, if these things are true, they are expected to lie and say, no, this is all Western propaganda by Islamophobes and fascists in order to stop the progress of peace. We see again, they go back to the faulty translation of what the word peace means. So we know Taqiya is permissible lies applied to innocent, unknowing Westerners with the goal of furthering the domination of Islam so that Allah's peace condition can be achieved in order that they reach the judgment day, and then the jihad will be complete and the Muslims can finally go to their paradise after having created it through the completion of the jihad. So let's break it down slowly just so we know exactly what we're talking about here. Globalizing the Intifada, freeing Palestine, dominating foreign nations with Islam in order to engender the peace condition of Islam, although it sounds very nice and flowery and friendly, doesn't mean anything friendly at all. What that actually means is jihadis, which is the traveller part of the reliance, the reliance means the law code. The reliance of the traveller means the jihadi travelling to the enemy countries, Western countries, in order that they can use this Taqiya system of deceit to lie and trick you and I and everybody else who lives here out of our feeling of resistance, so that we turn our back on our responsibility to defend what is here, what is ours. And in doing so, we allow the door to open for Muslims to flood in with their jihad and kill us and our culture, so that they can have their peace. You know, they can kill everybody and only have other Muslims and only have Islam. Because what could possibly be more peaceful than a world completely dominated by one nation, one ethnic group, one religion, which has a law against apostates, you know, people who don't agree. It's basically fascism and communism rolled into one and repositioning itself as a peaceful religion. That is what Islam is, and that is why we need to be aware of these things, and we need to educate ourselves and have the wisdom and the courage to stand up for our own values, our own culture, and make sure we are not tricked and we don't fall into this trap of thinking nice, friendly, moderate Muslims are peaceful, and if we dare to read the Quran or speak against this intifada, this global fascist war that they want, this jihad, if we speak against that, then we are Islamophobes or racists. This is part of their Taqiya strategy. So, in conclusion, we will beat these guys, and we will not fall as victims of this evil jihad. We will not be beaten by some rabble-rousing Dark Ages cult of paedophiles, which is what they are. Neither will we be tricked by their lies. And the reason we will not is because we will be educated, and we will be wise enough to see this coming and never turn our backs. And that is why you can never trust Islam. So, for more information, please feel free to review my previous videos. I have 2 series which covers this in great detail. Without Lies, Islam Dies, and Pearls and Swine, the 2 series where I go into great detail and I cover every single book, law, event, and everything you need to know exactly what you're talking about in terms of defeating the jihad and safeguarding your own morality, your rights and freedoms as a Western Democrat living person. And on top of that, I will be doing videos every single day, and we will be covering this more and more until everyone is educated well enough to know our country is worth sticking up for. Your life, my life, and our shared values of peace and freedom and love, the way we understand them, are far superior to any of the nonsense found in the evil Quran of the Muslims, and that is precisely why, without the threat of violence, we won't need that. We can take the responsibility for defending our own values and our countries, and we can push these evil ideologues back out the door, and we can wave the flag of victory without bloodshed, through education and having the courage to stand up for the things we learn, and the wit and wisdom to repel the Taqiyite lies and strategies that will use against us, in order that we can remain peaceful and free. And I have no doubt that we will. So, that's the end of this video. God bless you all. Hope you learned something. And I'll see you lovely people in the next one. Bye now. So, as you can see, it's time we dispensed with these frilly, nonsensical, inaccurate words, like Islamophobe, and we call a spade a spade. These guys are fascists, and we shall defeat them. That's all for now. God bless you all, and I'll see you next time.